Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing. It's 10 a.m. bright and early here in Omaha, Nebraska. I hope you're having a great day. As you can see before you on the screen, we're going to talk today about Social Security claiming strategies and seminar marketing around Social Security claiming strategies. As we get rolling here, a couple of things I want to mention about that. Number one, we've had some really good success in this marketplace. Number two, Social Security claiming seminars tend to be easy transitional seminars. By that, I mean for folks that maybe haven't done seminars in the past, Social Security claiming, I think you'll find, is a really good opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to that marketplace. Number three, the training and information that you get along the way with Social Security training and helping to understand how Social Security works is obviously very beneficial to your clients as you're moving forward in your business. So there's a lot of advantages to Social Security claiming. Today we're going to talk about some of the strategies that are employable now, given recent changes that have been made by Congress to Social Security and the different strategies available. We're going to talk about seminar marketing. We're going to talk about the results of seminar marketing. We're going to talk about the ways to get training for it and the potential to grow your business via Social Security claiming seminar marketing, how that can work for you. So we've got a great webinar available for you here today. Thank you all for tuning in. I know there's a lot of things you can do with the Tuesday morning. We appreciate you taking some time in joining us today. So I'm going to run through just a couple of things. During the course of the event, if you should have some questions, go ahead and type them in and hit send, and we'll get those questions asked and answered. There's going to be a couple polls coming up. There'll be one coming up here right now on our Life and Annuity Academy. I'd like you to answer those fairly quickly because we need to move through today and get right to Social Security claiming. So if you don't have any interest in joining us at an academy, please let me know that via no on the poll. If you want to join us, want to be included at least in seeing more information, I want you to check yes on the poll that's going to come up here shortly. Before that, I put that up, however, I wanted to kind of let you look for a second at the slides and see what we talk about at our Life and Annuity Academies in general. And then while you're looking at the poll, I'll describe a couple other things for you. So there we go. There's a poll out there for you. If you want to join us at one of our academies, we do pay your expenses. So we're going to pay your travel, we're going to pay your lodging, we're going to pay for your meals while you join us. Next one is here in Omaha, which is the location of our home office. And it's going to be very early September, about the 6th through the 8th maybe of September. We'll have you in Omaha. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I believe. We'll have you in on Wednesday. We'll start that evening with some basic stuff. In fact, we'll talk about Social Security claiming then. We'll go all day Thursday and then half a day Friday. We'll get you back to your either the airport or if you happen to be a driver in. And a question always comes up, do we reimburse for mileage? And the answer is yes. Whatever the current IRS guideline is for reimbursement is what we reimburse. So we'd love to have you in. We talk mostly about sales ideas. We talk about marketing. We talk about growing your business. We talk about lead systems. We talk about seminars. We talk about, digital means of growing your business. That's probably 70% of what we talk about there. We'll spend some time on product. We'll talk about income riders. We'll talk about the Department of Labor. My gosh, if we could stand to hear any more about it. And we'll have some new developments probably by September, so that will be good. We will talk a little bit about some of the different products. We'll have speakers in from a couple of the companies that we do business with, and they'll want to tell you about their wares, but that'll be a relatively minimal amount of the academy time that we spend on that. So if you have, and I didn't launch that poll, I apologize. There we go. If that's something that you're interested in, I urge you just take a minute right now and hit yes on that poll. If you hit yes, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a sample of the agenda. So we'll send you the agenda from the last meeting. They stay fairly static. And then we will send you a registration form. When you send back that registration form, all that does is let us know you have interest in attending. We usually do 3 to 4 of these a year. And so we'll just call you and say, hey, we've got one coming up on such and such a date. Would you like to be included in that list for consideration? So you're not making any commitments is, I guess, what I'm letting you know. I'm just going to give everyone another minute to vote, and then I'm going to close that poll out. If for some reason you're unable to vote, please give me a call here. I'll send you there's 800 number right before you there, 800-255-505. Just write that down. I'll also, second here, I'll send out a chat message with my email. You can send me an email as well, and we're glad to communicate with you that way. So with that, I am going to go ahead and close that poll out. I appreciate all of you that did vote quickly. As I said, we'd like to get this moved along as quickly as possible. So that in mind, we're going to move along here. So a couple things I want to run through. New producer bonus for those of you, and there's a pretty good bunch of you here that have done business with us for years, but there are some of you that have not yet decided to do business with us. So take advantage of our new producer bonus. Doesn't matter what product, doesn't matter what company. If you do business with us during your first 180 days of contract, you're going to be able to select various levels of qualification for your new producer bonus. Great means of us helping you grow your business right away. You can see a lot of them are kind of built around that. Social Security claiming seminar mailings, matching marketing money. There's a lot of different things that we do. Most of them are designed to help you grow your business. We also have some things like iPads and Ritz-Carlton travel giveaways. So let us know how we can help you get started with us quickly. So our 2008 Producer Summit is going to be at the Boulders Resort and Spa, voted one of the nicest, I think it was voted the premier resort by Travel and Leisure in Arizona. So very nice spot, great golf, really a world-class spa. I've had the pleasure of going there a couple of times, and really a very nice spa facilities, nice golf courses, wonderful area, lots of things to see in that area and do. So I would like to hopefully consider joining us there come February of 2018. Couple other programs you need to be aware of. RPM, when you refer a producer to us, that producer does business, we pay you a 20 basis point override besides paying you a $50 check when they get appointed with us. So a couple things that we do there. The idea is that we want to reward you for referring people to us, but we want you to refer people to us that are like you, people that are in our business and finding ways every day to help grow their business. Those are the kind of people that we want to get to know better. So if you know anyone like that, that you think would be a good addition to the AIIMS family, and you think the AIIMS services would be beneficial to them, then by all means, give your marketer a call, give them the name, and they'll take it from there. And if they do business with us, then you'll start getting checks. And those are some of the biggest checks that we send out, frankly, right now. Marketing reimbursement actually are the biggest checks that we send out. When you do business with us, doesn't matter what carrier, what company, what product, we put money in your marketing reimbursement account, and those funds can be used to help grow your business. So anything that you do, whether it's mailings or hard assets that you need to help grow your business, anything is reimbursable for your efforts, and we're glad to do that. So again, take advantage of marketing reimbursement. I'm going to skip over creative services in the interest of getting right to the AIIMS Wealth and getting on to the main subject of our webinar today, which is Social Security claiming. But I want to make you all aware of AIIMS Wealth Management. So as you all know, effective Monday, really effective end of business or end of day, last Friday, the DOL fiduciary rule went into effect. And so do you need to be Series 65 now? Nope, you do not. But might that be a way to help grow your business in a new world? That's because really, if you look at what the fiduciary rule is trying to accomplish, it's trying to move away from a commissioned way of being paid into a fee for service way of being paid. And so that's what the Series 65 really is all about. So we've had AIIMS Wealth Management up and running now since January, seen some nice growth there, and I think a lot of it is due to a lot of people like you out there realizing that that's maybe the wave of the future. So if you need help getting the Series 65, walking through that process, give us a call, or certainly maybe just to make it easier, let's do this. So if you would like to learn more about getting a Series 65, or if you have a Series 65 and you want to see how AIIMS Wealth stacks up from a fee and cost standpoint, by all means, check yes on that poll, and we'll go ahead and get you set up and ready to go there. So if that's of interest, let us know that. If you're comfortable with your position going forward, maybe you already have a 65 and you're comfortable with your current RIA, that's great. If you don't have a 65, or maybe looking at getting a 65, or you have a 65 and maybe you want to see how some other RIAs might stack up in terms of costs and in terms of services and in terms of kind of the portfolio setup, I want to say that we have designed AIIMS Wealth Management to be turnkey, to help you be more of an asset gatherer as opposed to a day-to-day asset manager. So we've got asset management portfolios, active asset management portfolios set up that correspond to different risk tranches. And with that in mind, if that looks like it might be a good fit for you and help you, then by all means check yes on that poll. If you're happy where you're at, or you're not really seeing the need right now to grow your business on the assets under management side, or don't see that as a something that the regulatory environment is currently calling for, by all means check no on that poll, and we won't bother you at all about AIIMS Wealth Management. Again, in the interest of time, and I see most of you have voted, I'm going to go ahead and close that poll out. And we'll get moving right along here. So I'm going to skip over our annuity alternative. What I will say about that is that if you're looking to grow a part of your business maybe that hasn't, and you want to see what we can do for you there, there's all kinds of opportunity in the single premium life marketplace that most of the producers, as we introduce them to it, don't really seem to understand or realize it's out there. And we're experts really at helping guys find the dollars in their portfolio. So if there's information that you'd like to learn more about that, what I'd like you to do is give our life department, Mark Raymakers and his team, a call and let him help you, walk you through kind of the opportunity and the services and the advertising and the collateral that we can make available to you to help you help your current clientele understand more of the opportunity around single premium life, because there are definitely, that marketplace has changed, and there's definitely opportunity there now that maybe wasn't there 2, 3, 4 years ago. So with that, we're going to start. Dave, are you with us yet this morning?
I am. How are you doing this morning?
Very, very well. I know you've got some things going, so I want to get through and give you plenty of time to go through Social Security claiming strategies. And so in the interest of time, I'm going to hand it right over to you, and let's get started. I'm also going to give you the screen and mouse, Dave, so you'll be able to navigate through this webinar as well.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. I have to smile about that. So you said screen, mouse, and webinar, and you know what? 25 years ago, only one of those was around. And that's how fast things are changing. I mean, it's pretty incredible. And one of the things that has not changed in our business, and I started back in 1981, so I got 30 plus years in the business, is that you have to get belly to belly or face to face with people to do business. I remember when years ago, when the robo dialer came on out, they said, "Oh, the salesperson's done dealing, not going to be around anymore." Well, was that the truth? Of course not. Now they're outlawed in most states if you don't register. The human being is always going to be the advisor, always going to be the person that will help the person purchase the financial strategy. But getting in front of enough people, tough thing to do. I coach a lot of different people. My background, I've been in the financial service arena, 3 years of insurance, and then brokerage investments in insurance, really around annuities, not so much conventional insurance, but annuities, fixed, indexed, fixed, a little bit of variable. What happens is that people in today's day and time, many of them want some type of stopgap or safety within their portfolio, especially if you're working with the crowd that I am on, the pre-retired and retired crowd. So what happens is Social Security, there's no doubt. I just came from a meeting where one of the big wigs, she was actually talking for Franklin Templeton, or Templeton Franklin, but she's very extremely well known within the industry. And she asked a question to a group of, those are all Series 7 and 6 licensed brokers. Some of them have been in business for a long time. And she asked a specific question, which I knew, and one of the people who I coached knew. Other than that, no one knew that answer in the room. Those are professionals. This is not the John Q. public. So Social Security claiming about 2,700 rules. Well, I'm telling you, people just don't understand enough about Social Security claiming. So I've just let you know, I've done over 450 public seminars. It's a lot. And what happens is that seminar business is a little bit different than it was before. But I will say this, is that the idea of getting in front of someone, as you'll learn here, has nothing to do about any kind of financial product. It's all about It's all about financial strategies. So from a Social Security standpoint. So those are some of the slides that are in this, and we do this through a seminar setting. The presentation takes about an hour, and I think the interesting thing that AIIMS has with Lazarus Coaching, which is my coaching firm, is that I coach people through the process. Most of the time, people will go in and it's kind of like opening that, putting together that the bike or the swing set the day before Christmas. You've got a blueprint there, but no one is there to say, oh, don't do it this way, do it this way, don't do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, it'll be better than this way. That can save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and to help you become successful faster. And that's what I do through the 5 coaching sessions and the ongoing coaching that I give you after that. So this slide talks about the baby boomers in maximizing retirement income. About 58%, just saw this, 58% of all people that are getting near retirement says that Social Security is extremely important, not just important, but extremely important to their livelihood. And about 45% of the people take it as the earliest that they possibly can, which is at the age of 62. Okay? They take it right as early as they can. A good portion of the rest take it when they actually retire, if it's after 62. Very few people, excuse me, let the benefit delay. Okay? Now, if you got any questions whatsoever, certainly go in and type it in, and we will answer that for you. Okay? I'm going to go back one here. So here's what we mail to. We mail to ages of 58 to 67. That's who we mail to. Now remember with Social Security, a real simple Social Security claiming 101 is this, is that what's the earliest age you can possibly take? Not counting disability or death, 60 isn't, 62. It's 62. 62 is the earliest you can take. What's the latest that you want to take by, or you just basically lose the, the benefit? 70. So there's 8 years in there, and then there's something called full retirement age or normal retirement age. Yeah, what happens there is that that's your full benefit. If you take before 66, and in 66 depends on the age. If you're born between 1943 and 1954, 66 is that full retirement age. If you're born after that, which I was, like I wasn't born in 54, I was born in 55. Now you got to add 2 months to my full retirement age. And then 2 months if you're born in 56. And then you're at 6 months if you're at 57. All the way up to 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. In today's day and time, everyone who comes to those workshops somewhere between, they're born between 43 and say 65. So their full retirement age is 66 or 67. But those are the 3 important either ages or dates with Social Security. But when people come into a workshop like this, they're asking themselves, hey, here's the questions. They're trying to think of when's the best time for me to apply for the benefit? What age is the best age? If I'm married, can I coordinate it with my spouse? If I take early, what's the cost? If I delay it, how much more will I earn? If my husband or the spouse is deceased, how does the survivor benefit work? If I'm divorced, can I claim off my ex? In 2015, the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, it has the new Social Security laws affected me. I mean, they affected me. I mean, I lost about $22,000 because I was not able to file and suspend now. So I walk through that. A lot of people are saying, will it be there for me? And the interesting thing is, there's so much negative news about Social Security. There's so much negative kind of panhandling around Social Security that a lot of people, don't think it's going to be there. When I was young, as most people, we all thought, gosh, you better, you better invest on your own or not count on Social Security because it'll never be there when I retire. But it is still there and in pretty darn good shape. You see more and more articles like this than you did before. This is popular Social Security strategies nixed. Well, it's kind of a misnomer because they weren't nixed; they were both phased out. But file and suspend is phased out over 6 months, and restricted application is phased out over 8 years. 8 years it's being phased out on. Yeah, but there's much more in the news than there ever has been. Now, why seminar marketing? It's not for everyone. If you're uncomfortable getting in front of groups, no, it's not for you. The cost of coaching is fairly inexpensive, and that's how I get paid. I'm not in your hierarchy, but the cost of the mailings, yeah, you've got to have between $3,000 and $4,000 to mail to get those 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 people. We just got a fellow right now. He's doing his 3rd workshop, and he's got 60 some people, and it's going to be next week is when the workshop is. He's just absolutely elated. But we think we can get around without a meal. There's no meals to this workshop. It's all educational, normally held in an educational setting like a library or in a college. We hope to get 35, 40 people there between the 2 nights. That's what we'd like to do. But it's timely information. People want to know how Social Security laws work, especially the new Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015. If you're working the pre-retired and retired group, it's perfect age, 58 to 67. No doubt this is geared towards more educational, less sales. We don't have a meal at a restaurant. We don't use name tags. We don't set people up to socialize into a group of a table. I always say the prospects need us more than we need them. The reason a lot of people sign up is to get the report, and we use horse's mouth, which you can tell the seminar, and it says horse's mouth. I thought it said horse's mouth. I guess it talks about Social Security planning is what it says, savvy. But what happens is that people want this information. Interesting enough, you don't see any seminars by Social Security about Social Security Administration, do you? Going on out and talking about Social Security. No, you don't at all. There's a reason for that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. There's a high conversion rate of appointments, I think higher than other types of seminars. But the transitioning from Social Security to actually the found money, to invest that money, it's a fine line. It's tricky. And I've got a format that works very, very well, and certainly through coaching we share that with you. So will it be there for me? You bet. In fact, let me go back to that slide. Right now there's $2.8 trillion in the Social Security Trust Fund. Now, part of that is in government guaranteed bonds, but part of it is in IOUs, a good part. Now, am I glad they borrowed from it? They mean the government? No. But the government's thinking, why do we need to use our own money when they have trillions of dollars in the trust fund? Well, if everything is left just as it is right now, that trust fund, through the IOUs and the bonds, they will go in, the interest in the bonds, they will go in and be diminished in the year 2033, 2034. Okay? So if you go figure that out, you got 16, 17 years left. So Social Security will now officially be bankrupt. And that's what you hear from the politicians. I remember Kim Christie going on up talking about the bankruptcy of the Social Security. Well, that scares seniors. Well, any kind of bankruptcy, but most people being that there's no money, there's nada, you're zeroed out. Can't pay the payment. The interesting thing about Social Security though is that it's a pay as you go system. Yeah, everyone working right now, and though there aren't as many people working forever retired. In 1950, there were 16 people working forever retired. Now there's a little over 3 people, and in 20 years there'll be a little over 2 people working forever retired. But there still is money coming on into the Social Security. So even if all of the money was gone in the trust fund, there still would be the pay-as-you-go of payroll taxes and FICA and et cetera. About 79% of your benefit would be intact. So if you're getting paid $1,000 a month, there'd be a deduction down to $790. Still really, really good. Now, do I think the Social Security Trust Fund is going to run out of money? I do not. There will be some changes made. But people are under the idea that, oh my gosh, it will be bankrupt and then there'll be zero money coming on in. So will it be there? Yes. Remember I talked about full retirement age from 1943 to 1954 and your birth date? Yeah, it's 66. I was born in 55. The very first day goes back to the year before with Social Security, but if you're born from January the 2nd through December 31st of that year, then if you were born in 55, you'd be 66 years and 2 months. Born in 56, and between those dates, 66 years and 4, up to 1960 or later, the birth date would be 67. A child born today at the local hospital, what's their FRA? Full retirement age? 67. Doesn't change. Will that change in the future? I certainly think it will, because people are living much, much longer. Now, there's FRA at 67 and FRA at 66, but I always go from 66 just to make it simple. But you can tell, from 62 to 66, the benefit grows 25%. Actually, 5% the first year, 6.7 the next, 6.6, and 6.7. That's how much the growth is. COLAs, cost of living allowances, are always on top of every single benefit, no matter what the benefit is. That's called an actuarial reduction. So if you were at $1,000 your benefit, and you take it 62, what would your benefit be now? 25% less. Yeah, it's gonna be $750 off of $1,000 full retirement benefit. Now, after 66 each year, your money grows a guaranteed 8% a year, plus cost of living, which has averaged almost 3% over the last 50, 60 years, but about well over 2% in the last 25 years. So what happens is you're probably going to earn, give or take, with cost of living, very well, 8% plus 2 is 10%. Well, if you got a $2,000 benefit, you wait 1 year, you get a $200 raise. For the rest of your life, you make $200. And it isn't just that, but if you take a husband and a wife, the man normally has the higher PIA in this era, maybe not now, but in this era, because most women, or many women, took part-time jobs or no jobs when the children were being reared. Not that there weren't any Mr. Moms, but most of this era, you'll see a break in action of employment. So the man, in between men and women, who dies first? The man does normally 75% of the time or 80% of the time. But if he's got a $2,000 benefit and he lets it grow, say for the 4 extra years to 33 or 3,400, and the wife, say she's similar age and she takes her benefit at 66, but if he dies first, he's going to go in and she's going to get all of that benefit of his. She'll have to let hers go, but she'll get all of his benefit. It's a big deal. Delayed retirement credits. Did that get touched in any way from the Bipartisan Budget Act? Absolutely not. Did actual reduction get changed in any way? Absolutely not. The really big thing was the one thing, and one and only, file and suspend and restricted the phase-in periods. But restricted, you normally use restricted 70-80% of the time compared to file and suspend, even though you hear file and suspend all the time. Restricted application is really helps more people, and that's still into effect. And I'll go into this, but you had to be 62 by 1/1 of 2016. If you weren't 62 like me, I wasn't 62 until April of 2017. Yeah, so we lost that benefit of file and suspend and restricted application. So did that make a difference? Yeah, but I have heard people in the seminar business say, well, all the sizzle's gone now. There's no reason to have Social Security workshops. Well, I'll tell you what, tell that to the people that are booking their rooms at 40, 50 people per 2 sessions, 25 or 20, and doing good business, okay? The more you do, no doubt, the better you get. So if any questions, type them on in. And I am going to go through a little bit about the spousal benefit in kind of a simplicity standpoint that gets a little more complicated on some of the scenarios than this. But let's say John's primary insurance amount, that's PIA, meaning That's his amount at full retirement age. And Jane's primary insurance amount, PIA, is $800. Say they're both 66. They're born in 53. They're both 66. Or let's say they're born in whatever it is, 52, and they're both 66. Yeah. So what happens is that when Jane, say they both wait till their full retirement age, but if she takes her benefit and John takes his benefit, Jane has the option of taking all of her 800 or taking all of John's or half of John's benefit. Well, half of John's benefit is 1,000. All of Jane's benefit is 800. 1,000 is more than 800 by $200. That $200 is a top off or step up in the benefit. Okay. Now, if John goes in and does not claim yet, and he delays it, she can't take half of his. Only if he claims his benefit also. Okay? Any question on that, certainly type it in. Be more than happy to answer it for you. How about divorced spouse benefits? Well, just know this. There's 3 important major things about divorced spouse benefits, meaning this is claiming off of your ex. It's gender neutral, of course. The wife can claim off her husband, the husband can claim off the wife. The marriage had at least lasted 10 continuous years or more. Okay? The person that wants the benefit or receiving the divorce spouse benefit is currently unmarried. It makes no difference on the spouse. They can be married. But the person needs to be unmarried, and the ex-spouse is at least 62 years of age. Ex is at least 62. Well, if those 3 things line up, you can use your ex-spouse just as if you were married to them. She can use him, he can use her. Pretty interesting. It's a very liberal. I mean, when you start talking about divorces, they're quite liberal because normally it can really benefit the woman in that case. Let's say you're a doctor and you got a primary insurance amount of $2,600. And say you were a stay-at-home mom. Look what a huge thing that is to be able to work from his benefit. Now, on divorced spouse, once you get married at any age, can't use the divorced spouse benefit. It goes away. Pretty cool. Any questions, certainly type them on in. So how about survivor benefits when somebody dies? So if the spouse dies while both are receiving benefits, let's talk about that, okay? Because it's a little different if one of them has not received the benefit of what you can do there. In fact, I just had a call yesterday from a rep down in Mississippi that was asking about that. But let's say Joe and Julie are married. Both are over full retirement age, just for the sake of this. Joe's benefits $2,000, Julie's primary insurance amount. That means the amount at full retirement age is $1,200. So Joe dies. They were getting in $1,200. That is a family benefit of $3,200. Well, now Joe dies. He only got a family benefit of $1,200. As long as Julie goes and reports to the Social Security Administration that she requests and wants Joe's benefit, she can leave hers go, and she can jump it to Joe's. Well, that increases her benefit $800. Now, from a family benefit, it's less, of course. What's $3,200? $2,000 plus $1,200. But now it's $2,000. But Julie can jump to Joe's if she requests in writing or requests in the internet that she wants to do that online. Now, what happens if she doesn't request? Is it done automatically? Nope. I can't tell you. I mean, I've had 2 or 3 times where they forgot to request. One gal lost $40-some thousand. It was $8,000 a year, or $800 a month, which is almost $10,000 a year, and she did it for like over 4 or 5 years. Pretty amazing. She did get a retroactive benefit for 6 months, but everything else was lost. This is why to do it by yourself is foolish, and this is why so many people come in to the Social Security workshop because they want to find out the answers. Absolutely. So coordinating spousal benefits. So if you go in the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, you hear all the time about file and suspend, and basically that is just when the primary benefit of the marriage of the spouse, they are going to go and start theirs, they stop theirs, and then the other spouse starts theirs. You let yours grow, and you go in, and your spouse can take half of yours. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but you're basically letting yours grow while your spouse can take half of hers, yours. She could, and so you're using always a spousal benefit. Restricted application has an 8-year phase out period, phases out in 1/1 of 2024. So if you're born before January 1st of 1954, or you're 62 by 1/1 of 16, you can do restricted. And restricted application is kind of interesting when you start talking about it, okay? So again, if there's any questions here, certainly go in and ask. File and suspend is gone. There isn't a file and suspend now. But here's how restricted application works. And if you can kind of stay with me on this, because restricted application, there are a lot of moving parts. So let's say Mike and Mary are both full retirement age. What age is that? Let's say 66. Mike's PIA, what's that stand for? Primary insurance amount is $2,000. Mary's PIA, primary insurance amount, is $800. Very common scenario in that age group. Why is Mary's less? Well, maybe she made less. Also, she probably, under $1,000, she probably took some time off for whatever reason. Could be kids, could just be that she's volunteering, whatever it happens to be. So Mike goes in and he starts. Mary's, first of all, she's going to take her benefit of $800. Mike is going to go in and start his, but then he's going to delay it so he can get the delayed retirement credits of 8% each year from 66 to 70. Now, can he just do it for 1 year? Sure. 2 years? Sure. But if he wants to, he can do it up to 4 years. Okay? Guaranteed 8% and whatever the COLA is. But what happens here is that with Mike, he can now go in and take half of Mary's benefit, which is $400. That $400 is free money. Free money. 400 times 12 is 4,800. 4,800 times 4 is a little more than $19,000 that most people never go in and work this kind of scenario for a restricted application. Now, what's interesting is the higher earning income person, which almost always is the person that it applies to, they have to be at least 66 years of age or older, or at least full retirement age or older to be able to make this work. And they had to be 62 by January 1st of 2016. Now, when this phases out, I had some people say, well, then our Social Security workshop's done. No, people don't understand the basics of Social Security. They don't understand the spousal or the divorced, or they just don't understand survivor benefits. They don't understand a lot of things. But this has a little bit of a sizzle that is still left for many, many of the recipients. Okay? So if there's any questions on this, I certainly want you to go in and type them in, and we'll answer those for you.
Dave, we've got a couple of questions that arose a little bit back. Do you want to go back and recap those?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let me go back here.
Okay.
So Mike asks, yeah, this goes back to Jane. He said, what happens to Jane? What happens to Jane's benefit when John dies?
So Jane, I got to think of what slide that is. So let's go back. I'm going to go back. Can you go ahead and do it, Steve?
Yep.
Because I don't know which one. Oh, Barbara. We'll keep going here. There it is. Oh, that's Bob and Barbara. It must be before that. It's not file and suspend. So
Joe and Julie.
Where's Jane?
Got to be here.
I don't know which one he's talking. Are you going back, Steve?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I just keep on seeing the same ones in front of my. have to go back further. I think it's on the very. Yeah, we're just flipping back and forth. You're not keep on going back. I don't know what the deal is. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't. If I knew there, if you go two more.
There you go.
John and James. There it is. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Spousal benefit. So what was the question, Steve?
What happens to Jane's benefit at John's death?
Okay. So here's what happens is that Jane's benefit at John's death. Yeah. So what happens is John's primary insurance amount is $2,000. Jane's is $800. So when John dies, then Jane she has to request it, but it jumps from $800 to $2,000. She can go from $800 to $2,000. If she doesn't request it, she'll stay at $800. The Social Security Administration hopes you don't request it. They hope they don't have to pay it out.
Scary.
Yeah, it is scary. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens there.
Okay. For those people who turned 62 prior to January of 2016, can you explain file and suspend?
I can explain it, but you know what? There's just no reason to, because you cannot do it anymore. It's completely gone. But all that file and suspend was, I mean, it was simplistic, is that you are a giver of your benefit. So on a file and suspend, let's just say that you got Mike and Mary. Mike's $2,000, she's $800. You're both 66. If you, at the time of file and suspend, you'd file for your benefit, then you would stop it right away. You'd start earning your 8% delayed retirement credit. Mary's going to go on in, start her $800. And what she can do is she can go in and take her $800 with file and suspend, or she can take half of Mike's $2,000, whichever is higher. Well, $200 is the bump up there. Instead of $800, she's going to get half of $2, which is $1,000. That's file and suspend. You're with the spousal benefit. You're a giver. The primary benefit owner, the big one, is a giver of their benefit. With restricted application, you're a taker. You're a taker of the benefit. And in those two scenarios, and I showed them back to back in the old days when file and suspend was still around. In that case, restricted application was a higher benefit by $200, $400 versus $200. But file and suspend now, done. And unless you already have started it, then you of course can't do anything now with file and suspend. It's something that is past tense. Okay. Anything else, Steve, at all?
Nope. Are we on the right slide now?
Good. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, and so what you'd be surprised about this. So Social Security, I mean, if you ever go down there, ours is happily is Old Mill in Omaha, Nebraska. But when you go down to the Social Security office, I call it Baskin Robbins on steroids. You go in, you pick a number, and then you just watch the people. It's an incredible amount of folks roll through the Social Security office. But you know what? If you're asking about your benefit, when you go to them, what they can legally give you is your best benefit you can get right now. What you're entitled to. You know what they can't do? They can't talk about scenario planning, file and suspend, restricted. They can't actually even offer you advice. And that always has amazed me. I guess it's from a liability standpoint with Social Security Administration, but they cannot give you advice. In fact, if you go in and you look at kind of what Social Security, it's called off of their POMS manual. It says you're taking the claim. This is right from their kind of their pamphlet to their employees. And number D says, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. How bizarre is that? That's the Social Security Administrational Office. Can you imagine? I mean, the front of my door says investment advisor representative, investment. So think about, they'd come in to Dave Pimper, one of my prospects, and say, Dave, can you give us some investment information? Nope. Give you a lot of advice information, but not on anything on investments, even though it says that on my door. Wild. But it really opens us up from a educational standpoint to give seminars so many people out there need this information. They want this information. And what happens is, I had a person one time said, I'm a little comfortable about this, Dave, because it sounds like it's really a bait and switch what you're doing here. You're baiting them with Social Security, and then you're switching them into an investment. The funny part about that is, to find out when the best time to take Social Security, I call it, which I'll talk about here, probably the next slide, I call it actually now it's the 5 pillars of income. I include RMDs in that, required minimum distributions. But you got wages. So I ask the people, how much are you making right now? Or what's your part-time job? Or you are retired, or whatever it is. But I want to know wages. I want to know if there's pensions available. I want to know what investable assets for income they have. So it could be 401k, 403b, traditional, Roth, SEP, simples, investment money, cash value on whole life policies, real estate, everything they have. So they're uncovering to me every asset they have. And I've had people go as far as to say, oh, yeah, we're really happy with that broker. This guy never calls us, never. We don't even know what ours are doing. Well, you know what? Or, I know that we seem pretty aggressive here. We really don't have any guarantees. Wow. 100 months this month into the bull market. Is that wild? Don't think there's going to be a hit pretty soon? My gosh. So what happens is it a bait and switch? No, we need we talk about RMDs and then how Social Security actually is the most flexible, how it integrates with those other sources of income. Because many times it could be worthwhile, which I never said this in the old days. If it was longer than 6-7 years ago, I may have given them the wrong advice. I'd say you better take Social Security because you don't know when it's going to be around. I'm embarrassed about say that really, but once I got understanding it more, what happens is it very well, can we be guaranteed 10%, on our fixed indexed annuity or fixed annuity? Of course we can't. Can we be guaranteed 10% on a brokerage account, a mutual fund, or stock and bond account? Of course we can. There's no guarantee there. Unless it's a guaranteed bond that's going to pay the 10-year bond's paying 2.21% right now. Yeah, 10%. So, but there's some things we have to find out about the people, all of their investments, all their income streams. Got to subjectively put in of when we think how long they'll live, because that certainly makes a matter of a break-even time period. How's longevity been in your family? Yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of things that we have to go through. But is it a bait and switch? Absolutely not. We're just trying to gather the very, very best information for them to go in and to make the correct choice of when to take Social Security. Okay? So this talks about the 5 pillars of income: work, pensions, RMDs, income-producing assets, and Social Security. And I always say Social Security is the worst water cooler talk in the world. Hey, I took Social Security at 63 and you should too. That's just like saying, I like broccoli and you should too. My favorite color is purple and yours should be too. No, it's an individual, very much of an individual decision. When you take it, might be completely different as when somebody else takes it. Maybe somebody else took it at 62 because I just came across the guy, the longest living male in the entire family was 68 years old. Well, you got to go 78 to 79 to break even with Social Security of waiting. So no, what happens is when you actually take it, that's why you need to talk to someone, run it through the software system, see where you're at. Now, horse's mouth, we've elected AIIMS, the FMO with Steve, Murray, and myself. We've elected to use horse's mouth. The cost is a little over $500, $512 to get to your door, but it's good. It's good stuff. I really couldn't go in and to take my time to go in and kind of invent the workshop. This is a very, very good grouping of information. So you get the workshop, and I've actually I've polished that up a little bit to have it fit our needs as far as the retail prospect. But they've got 300 pages of hard copy to read. There is all the updated on the Bipartisan Budget Act. They have the software. They've got emails that go out for newsletters. There's just a lot of stuff. You can type in. A lot of people use me, but they can also type into Lane Floyd, who is with Horse's Mouth now and invented the program years ago. you can go in and get the answer from here. She'll reply within a day's time. So for $500 a year, it's pretty darn inexpensive. And then what happens with myself is, I'm a coach. I'm a producer also. So it is when I say and start talking to you about what I've done, that is not going to I'm not saying that to be impressed to you, but I'm doing that because I've been around the horn a little bit, and I'm not just a coach. I mean, I'm a producer just like you. I'm making my calls this morning just like you were before the workshop. I'm going to an appointment, right? I have an appointment here in actually 7 minutes that's in the office, and then I jump right out of this and I go to appointment into my Omaha office. So I'm doing what you do, and I can relate to you. Now it's over 450 public seminars. I try to make a complicated subject much easier. We have 30 attachments, a lot of Social Security information to go out. There's 5 one-on-one sessions. So I get paid strictly from coaching you. I get paid $150 a session for 5 sessions. That's $750. AIIMS comes in with a scholarship as long as you qualify for that. You'll get $555 paid for by the FMO of AIIMS, who is on the line with this and the co-partnering this with this. Your cost is $195, and you can use me not just in those 5 sessions, but any time in the future from there on out. Anything. AIIMS has kind of got me set up that they want me to go in and handhold you, on that. So what happens is that most FMOs or most management firms like AIIMS, they don't have a coach that's a producer on hand to walk you through. And I always tell people, I try to keep you out of the ditch. I don't mind if we're driving and we get on the rumble strips. That's okay. I don't mind even if we get on the shoulder, but I keep you out of the ditch of really, really the bad stuff. And it's a turnkey system. You get lots of material. One of the things I'm going to say to you, though, if you think you're just going to take the coaching and then you know it right away, you'll know a lot more than you started. But you have to do some studying. And I always say, you got to probably put in 4 to 5 hours a week for 4 weeks, 15 to 20 hours of reading and studying over a month's time period. But once you know Social Security, you'll probably be one of the very few people in your location that really understands Social Security. No meals are served at this. I've got a proven transition language, and the big thing is that I service my clients. So here's my last slide, and Steve, I'm gonna let you take it from there, and I am gonna have to scoot here just in a sec. So then you can finish it. But talk about procrastination. It says procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Well, you know what? Never happens. Tomorrow never comes. If you heard something today that you like, if you heard something today that kind of says, hey, you know what? I want to get out of my rut for prospecting. I'll handhold you. I'll walk you through. I mean, I can lead a horse to water. I can't make him drink, but I can get you to the water. I can get you to those prospects. And if you're willing to go in and put an investment of money, an investment of time, I would love to go in and to help you achieve those goals. I'll let you take it from there, Steve.
Thank you, Dave. There's been a couple more questions that have arisen, and we'll have Dave address those one-on-one. We're going to get a printout of those questions, and he'll give you a call and address those. I'm going to put up a poll here, and while the poll is up, this is a poll. It basically is going to ask if you have any interest in coaching, and I'll pull it up here.
Just before I leave, I'll say this. With this coaching poll, here's what happens is, if you heard something, mark yes. If you didn't hear something here that kind of gets you excited, certainly mark no. I mean, I'm not going to give you a call. But if you mark yes, Craig Jones, put down a daytime telephone number where Craig can get a hold of you. And Craig or Amy, but probably Craig, my 2 administrators in the office, one will call, and we'll set up a 30-minute conversation, 25 to 30 minutes, talking about Social Security claiming and about maybe what it can do for you and just the specifics, ins and outs. And I'll tell you right now, I'll answer any questions that you have, but until you get in front of enough people, you're never going to have enough production. It's just the absolute. It's just like saying if you don't burn more calories than you take in, you're going to gain weight. So this is exactly the same thing. So I'm going to turn it on over to Steve. Steve, I want to go to my appointment right now. But what happens is I would certainly love to talk with you. It's a proven system. It's a turnkey system. It's worked for a lot of people. And once we talk, I can certainly tell you whether it's going to work for you or not. Okay? And Steve, I'll let you take it from here.
Thanks, Dave. Good luck on your appointment.
Yeah. Thank you.
You betcha. So we've got the poll up before. So, and many of you have already begun the answer. Here's a couple things that I will say, and I said at the outset, and I know some of you tuned in late. So from a transitional, for folks that aren't used to doing seminars, the Social Security seminar is it's a very prime for folks to get into the seminar business. And the reason for that is where a lot of seminars may require some what I call salesmanship or showmanship that goes along with it. This seminar is really you're giving very educational information, an educational format. No dinner served. It's come on in, have a seat. I would like you to turn your cell phones off, sit down, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Social Security in the best ways. And by the end of the seminar, of course, you've got some questions that have developed. Again, when you have the folks in there with you and they're sitting down, you don't want to answer a lot of questions. In fact, probably no questions, because almost certainly those are going to be very personal to their situation. So you want to be real careful of that. Set up that appointment. And then the second thing I will say is that the Social Security seminar is a little bit of a two-step process to business. So there are going to be a lot of folks there that are there to learn about Social Security, and when you go in to kind of probe for other ways that you might be able to assist them, you may not find any. But for those that you do, you can certainly understand and see how having a handle on their Social Security and being able to describe the best situation for them with their Social Security benefits is going to be a lot dependent on whether the retirement assets are at and what they're doing and how they're doing it. So it is a very smooth segue into that two-step process, but it needs to be it's a transition that a lot of folks have had trouble with. And so Dave himself would tell you that he had trouble with that. And so he built kind of the pillars concept so that people can understand, how everything interplays and, why you need to make sure that you have all of those things in place to have the right foundation and to be able to put the roof up over your retirement that not Social Security can do on its own. So it's a very complete transitional system that you need. So for those of you that may be considering doing seminars, this is a good one to get into. For those of you that are maybe looking in front of getting in front of more people and to talk about the one thing that you want to talk to them about, which is their retirement, where they're at, this is a good seminar. Still not for everybody. What I would say is that Dave is probably going to give you the best opportunity for success as anyone. We do not offer here at AIIMS any seminars anymore that do not include that one-on-one assistance from the seminar developer. And the reason for that is because there are too many potentials for those small mistakes that you can make along the way, and I've seen them again and again. It took us 3 years, back in the late 90s, really, to kind of determine that just giving someone a seminar is not enough. You've got to give them the seminar. You've got to give them the training that goes with it. And then as importantly, maybe most importantly, you just help them step by step through the process to make sure that you don't have one of those mistakes made that's going to throw a wrench in the works and minimize or eliminate the chance for success. And then beyond that, when you're working with a coach, and if you can get more people in the seminar because you're mailing the right group, or get better people there because you're doing it in the right area, or get more people to appointment because you did that just right, or get more people from appointment to second appointment because you did that just right, and then getting them from that second appointment to a close because you did that just right. So you can see there are many areas where there's potential for increasing success and decreasing success. We know that if you have that coach along the way, that the opportunity for increasing success goes up at every one of those, and by the end, you've got a geometric difference in the potential for doing business. And so that's the key there. And then just from a practical standpoint, to have somebody to check in with along the way and ask questions, it's just very important and gives you a better feel for seminars in general. So that's why we have someone like Dave. He's a good producer, great coach, and that's not an easy combination. You all know that there are a lot of folks out there that are probably good at the the seminar part of the production part of it, may not be good at the coaching part of it, and vice versa. And you need that combination of both. And Dave has proven himself over the last 10 or 11 years now doing business with us and working with our guys to be a proven commodity at both. So I recommend highly that if you're considering Social Security seminars, that you have a conversation with Dave and see if it's a good fit. I'm going to tell you that probably 25 to 30% of the time, his recommendation to you is going to be that maybe this isn't a good fit. So it's not for everybody. And that being said, Social Security claiming is one of the easier seminar things to do. So his evaluation is going to be a little bit based on your business mix, probably based some on your area. So in some areas, if you don't have the right demographics available to you, it may not work. So there's going to be some things that would affect that. And sometimes people just have a misconception about the success of seminars. And I don't blame the folks out there for this, because a lot of the stuff that you see in the trades and, advertising webinars, I think sets an expectation that is not realistic. And you don't want to go into any marketing campaign with unrealistic expectations. So Dave and I have had this conversation again and again and again. If he had taken the time to today to walk through the numbers, you'd say, wow, that's marginal. Can I really make a lot of money at this? Bottom line is that, our conversations, and Dave and I was like, let's make sure we set the expectations at the lower end, because I want guys to see that at the lower end, it's successful at what the practical end, what you can really expect. It can be, a game changer for you in your business. And at the upper end, if you're really good at it, it can be life changing. But I want to start off with what you can really expect to see happen here. And Dave is really good with the folks and about that. And if the sense is that your expectation of what you think this can do for your business is too high, that's just a recipe for failure and a lack of success going forward. So I don't want that to be sound too negative for you all out there, but I want you to make sure that we're going in the size of, because this is like any business. You put money in and you do things right and you get money out the other side. It's a great way to grow your business, and a very practical way to grow your business. So I see that, there's like 2 of you that haven't voted. So very good. I appreciate you all tuning in and being so good on participating here today. There's some other questions. So this goes back to our academy. So as I mentioned, our next academy is here at Omaha. I can get you out all the dates. I want to say it's September 6th through the 8th, but I could have those dates off. It's the first full week, the Wednesday through Friday in September. For those of you that are interested in Social Security claiming seminars, I see there's a couple other questions about seminars in general. I'd rather have you get the actual numbers from what you can expect for attendance to conversion from Dave and his team. And his team it's Dave, Craig, and Amy. They all, besides producing or participating in the production of his business, they all participate in the coaching. And so, yes, they will set up your mailings. They will help you find the location. Things like that. So the day-to-day stuff that you need to accomplish are going to help you with all of that. I'm going to close this poll out because I think everybody that has voted, that is going to vote or is able to vote, has voted. If you were unable to vote because of a technical issue, again, I chatted earlier, my name and or my email and my phone number is steve@AIIMSinc.com, and my number, of course, 800-255-5055. Please, by all means, if we can help, give us a call here at the office. That's what we're about here at AIIMS. Is we're not coaching and helping you with seminars. Is about finding you success in the business. It's not about selling a coaching system. Obviously, you can see from the pricing of it, it's ridiculously low. But it's about finding you a pathway to success that maybe wasn't there before. Will this be the only pathway available to you? Certainly not. There's lead systems, there's appointment setting, there's seminars about retirement planning, there's seminars about Social Security. There's all kinds of different things that we can assist with. That's what we're about here at AIIMS, is finding ways to help you grow your business. Thank you again for tuning in this morning, and we certainly appreciate the fact that you were able to carve out a few minutes for us here today. If you have any questions on the DOL stuff, as I know that's on the top of everyone's mind, give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055, and let us put your mind at ease about that by giving you the tools and that you need to make sure that your bases are covered. So look forward to helping you. Thank you for joining in today. Again, my name is Steve Murray with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you for your business, and thank you for joining us today.